Yeah, we're live right
Well,
now.
hello everybody. This is psychicmediumtree.com
And around the mulberrybush.com. And
yeah.
how do I get you in there
And
on this one?
today we're going to be talking about animals, their emotional lives, and their spirits.
Yes, and I have a bunch of animal songs, and I have songs that have an animal in them. So we get to decide because there's way
Okay.
more songs
Have
than there
fun.
is time to listen to music. I mean, I'm telling you, there's like nonstop music out there. It's crazy.
Okay, so before we get into the spiritual part about like being an animal whisperer, I'd like to read the 10 dog commandments.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. And number 1, be kind to your dog. 2, keep your dog hydrated. Have you seen a lot of dogs at the beach where they're not even giving them water?
I
Those
know.
poor animals, and it's like 100-degree heat. Okay.
Dogs will not turn down water.
Yeah, have to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
3, properly feed your dog. Don't overfeed or underfeed.
Yeah. I mismeasured how much I was supposed to be feeding a dog once. I feel so bad even today thinking about it. But
Yeah.
I didn't do that again.
Right? But dogs, if they get too heavy, then they have all kinds of bone problems, diabetes, all
she
these
was
things.
too thin.
Yeah.
I didn't give her enough. I was trying to give her the right amount of actual protein with the meat, and I miscalculated it. But put her back on a normal diet. I just miscalculated it for a little bit, and I feel so bad. I know.
That's
exactly.
right.
I know.
That's
I
right.
deserve that. I totally do. I totally do.
So walk your dog daily and provide enough exercise. That's an important one too.
That is true.
Yep. They need exercise.
Yeah.
So the best way to get a good dog is to give the dog enough exercise. Yep.
Dogs that get to play are much better listeners.
Oh, yeah. If they have friends, if they get to run around and go on walks.
Right. That way they get to be a dog.
That's right. The other one, do not hit, hurt, harm, or shame. And that's interesting. Sometimes dogs act up. Sometimes they're naughty. But you can redirect their behavior. You can also do what, we'll talk about Cesar Millan in a minute. He is fantastic. What a dog trainer. He is a dog whisperer, and he does a little, to correct the dog's behavior. So there's other dog behavior tricks that you can do to be able to make your dog behave. They never need to be hit or hurt.
Well, I have a Beatles song that we'll play in a minute because I had a pit bull once, and when she would be acting up, like dogs, they get independent, they want to go do their own thing, and they're messing with something they shouldn't be, and you tell them not to and all this other stuff. But when she wouldn't listen, I would pop her on the back of her tail, like pow, and my hand, after like the third time of doing that, it would get so swollen from, and I don't mean 3 times in a row, I mean the third time I did it, like weeks apart from each other. It just hurt my hand so bad to try to get that dog to listen that way. So what I ended up doing was I had a walking leash with a little tiny cheapy plastic thing on the end of it that would snap real loud, and I'd pop the back of her butt with that. And she started listening to everything I had to say. It was like the sound is what shocked her, not the actual sensation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They are more attuned to sound and redirecting, just like little kids. They're attuned to redirection.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not saying be mean to a dog or anything by any means. So.
And
of course not.
Provide flea, tick, and heartworm prevention monthly. That's a big deal, actually, because if you don't, you're going to have fleas. And poor dogs actually can die from fleas and worms and so forth.
They have all that Advantix and stuff, or whatever. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, all kinds of different types of medicine they can have from the vet that will take care of all those things.
Yeah.
Train your dog to behave. And nobody likes going over your house if your dog's jumping up on them. And although puppies are an exception, and actually puppies are puppies until they're about 3 years old.
Yeah.
So other people need to realize too, until the dog is 3, they're really still youthful. Be sensitive to your dog's needs and protect and keep your dog safe. My gosh.
We're like real TV now. None of that will exist in the live recording.
Well, there you go.
It'll be in the blooper reel.
Okay. Protect and keep your dog safe. Love your dog with all your heart.
Of course.
So,
of course.
And
anybody that would take a dog from a person is so inhumane that they don't deserve to breathe.
Yes.
But who's to trust people? So hey, here and we're live again.
Okay, hello again. So we're talking about animals. We welcome callers, and I want to say that as a medium, it is almost every reading that during the reading that one of the spirits will say, "Hey, I have the dog," and they'll tell me the breed. That's really pretty cool. Or they'll tell me what the dog was like. So, dogs have souls and spirits, and they, get taken care of by relatives when they pass.
They do.
Yeah.
I lived in a house in New England that I think had a horse in it.
Oh,
right.
A horse spirit?
Yeah, and there's several reasons why I think that. One, I would definitely hear bumps in the night in that house, but that you can discount for like pipes and whatever things that go bump in the night, right? Mm-hmm. But walking up the staircase, I would always smell like a barn smell, and I definitely vacuumed that whole area, and it was a rug, and it wouldn't have had any of that in there anyway, but I would smell it like in the air as I was walking up the stairs. Mm-hmm. And then one night, because, I had a very stressful job and everything, so it took a while for my brain to wind down on the weekend, so I would stay up late and just kind of mellow out on the computer and stuff. And one night, I was sitting in front of the laptop, and there was a curtain in between my dining room and my library, and all of a sudden, a string hanging off of the curtain lifted up like right in front of me, like stiff, like it was being blown by a fan, and there was no fan because it was December in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There was no fan.
That is very cool.
Yeah, so I think it was a horse, and I tried to talk to it, and every once in a while I would get this feeling of that there was something like looking over from my shoulder, like looking over whatever it was I was doing, and that kind of curiosity stuff. And I've worked with live horses, and it felt that similar curiosity that a horse will do to let you know they're right there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love that.
It's interesting.
It is. I've had, after my dog Buddy died, he was a white Labrador retriever, and when he died, I really missed him. I still miss him. But anyways, I'm laying in bed, about to go to sleep, and there is right as I'm thinking of him, a little white orb that floats across my room and lands right on my nose and disappears right on my nose.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
And when he used to give me a lick, it was always on the nose.
Okay.
So I knew it was him. I knew it was. It was wonderful. Awesome. Yes.
That is so cool.
And speaking of that, John Edwards, who's a famous psychic medium, he was talking about doing an energy cleansing in a house before, and when he went down in the basement, he felt the presence of a cat. It was a cat, and he helped clear the energy and help the cat go to the light. So, yeah. And then there's Maureen Rainier. She's a famous psychic detective.
Yeah, Rainier, I know her.
And she was invited to a farm to assist with the horse that was sick, and she had never done it before. And she went over to the horse, put her hand on the horse, and felt the energy of the horse. And what she got was surprising. The horse said that it was very ill, and I think, if I remember the story correct, it had cancer. Nobody knew that, just the horse did. And the horse said that it would be dead, the following few days. And it gave the exact number, and she relayed it to the owner, and sure enough, that horse did die. The exact same number, and yeah, she was able to communicate with it.
That's interesting. We could come back in our next reincarnation in animal form too. So, I mean, it's possible.
I don't agree with that.
We do. I don't think we do, but it could be an argument.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I don't
think we de-evolve, but that is the argument that we could in all things all the time.
Because I believe that higher evolved spirits are able to, visit inside the body of an animal for purposes of exploration and spiritual messages and so on.
That is true. I'm listening to what you're saying about it. That's for sure.
And Maureen Rainier, a famous psychic detective, she also went to a different farm. I believe that's the story, and talked with the dogs in the pen to see why one was losing weight and not doing well. And she picked up on the energy of each different dog in that pen. And the particular dog, she found out that it didn't really like its food.
Yeah.
So they had recently switched the food, and it wasn't.
I do have a very base understanding of that. It's hard to explain when it comes to that, because I talk about humans as we evolved, like intellectually evolved, and been able to now speak languages, and we're very articulate, and we teach ourselves this language now when we're born. But when we were cave people, we didn't talk like that. We were much more animalistic in our communication to each other, right? So that's the way a lot of animals are as well, because they're animals. They don't get to have the intellect and verbal skills that we have. So they only have certain ways to be able to communicate anyway.
Yeah, they can communicate telepathically, empathetically, and, with body language.
Right. And like, even that discipline part where a dog would just bark at the other dog and nip it in the leg, you can do that same thing without actually harming the animal. The animal just doesn't know that it can too. So that's why it bites at somebody's tail or barks and scares the other dog, and that kind of thing. So, but you can still teach an animal things without it, like, I'm sorry to talk about you that way, buddy. I'm sorry. It's like you're saying animal and dog and not rubbing my head. What's going on? You're making me sad.
What's up?
I would bite you, human, to show you the dog discipline ways. That's hilarious.
So yeah, dogs, cats, animals, they are a gift.
They definitely are. So, all right. The problem with rock and roll music and then the word animal is there's a lot of like overtones here. Let me go with, I'm going to play another. So, psychic medium tree. I can cut out whatever you want me to, Cherie. Yeah. I can say Cherie 5 times and nobody will ever hear it. Yeah. Or whichever the two, so I can cut it. Oh, psychic medium tree. Tell me about Cesar Millan.
Cesar Millan is a world famous dog whisperer. And it's interesting because he started his dog training in Mexico. He would sit and observe these dogs, that were, you know, just kind of running loose, and he would observe, and he would observe their behaviors and how they related to each other. And he came up with some really great training methods from his observations, as well as, and this is going to just like wow you, as well as his meditations. So he meditates, and every time prior to training, he meditates. He
is
also,
that right?
Yep, he works out, he walks the walk and talks the talk.
Does he?
And you know, whatever guides, spirit guides that he connects with, well, he has really made a huge improvement for dogs around the world. And it's interesting because he can take savage dogs and turn them into little softies.
I have seen him do his work. He is very good at talking to the animals.
He does. And he creates harmonious relationships between the animals and the owners. And I love what he says is, it's not the dog. When a dog has a behavior issue, it's the human. He retrains the human how to work with the dog. In fact, right now, my dog's wanting me to go play Frisbee. So, all right, till next time. We must love our dogs. They have spirits and souls. And I'm signing out.
All right. So let me go ahead. Let's play the closeout song. Will be, let me see here. Well, why not a little 1980s rock and roll? Sure, cut off jeans and